Hi, my name is Leanne and I'm going to show you how I make cheese. I've been making cheese for about 1.5 years and a lot of people ask me, how do you make cheese or how long does it take? So with the help of my son, he's going to help me make a YouTube video so I can show everyone how I make cheese. Now today we're going to make Jarlsberg cheese. Jarlsberg cheese is a Norwegian cheese and it's rich in texture and flavor. It has a buttery flavor which is really good, and we will go through the process and I'll show you how I do it. First, you have to have a lot of milk. I usually make my cheese in 2 batches because I have extra milk. So I have 12 gallons of milk to make 2 batches or 2 wheels of Jarlsberg cheese. This is the equipment you will need. I have 2 pots that will hold 6 gallons of milk each. All of the equipment needs to be washed with hot soapy water so there's not any extra bacteria on it, because that can change the whole taste of the cheese. I have a slotted spoon. This is what I use to stir the cheese. This is what I use to cut the curds, this long spatula. Of course, you're going to need a thermometer. And I have the cheese molds. And this is called the follower that you would put on top of the cheese. You need cheesecloth and also a cheese press. And we will go ahead and pour all the milk into the pots. I wanted to show you our Jersey cows. They are the ones that produce all my milk. The first one is Matilda. She's an overproducer. She produces about 4 gallons a day. Daisy is our other milk cow. She produces about 2 gallons a day. But they're really good cows and give us a lot of milk so I can make my cheese. Next, I'm going to shake up all my milk and then I'm going to pour 6 gallons into each of these pots. Okay, so I've poured all the milk into my 2 pots. I've turned the stove on. Now I'm going to start stirring. We need to heat the milk to 92 degrees. And right now it's at about 49 degrees. So I'll keep stirring until it hits 92 degrees. Okay, now we have the milk heated up to 92 degrees. Next, we need to add the cultures. Each cheese requires different cultures. So in Jarlsberg, the cultures will be TA61 and C6 propionic Shermani culture. So you go ahead and add the culture and you let it sit for about 3 minutes so it will hydrate. So we put the timer on for 3 minutes. So it's been 3 minutes, so you give it a gentle stir. And then you put the lid on, and it needs to sit for 45 minutes undisturbed. Okay, next we are going to add some rennet. back on and let it sit for 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes. Now we're going to check for a clean break. This is how you do it. You take your long spatula and you see if you could cut it into two. And you can. So this is ready to be cut into small cubes. And then after, we're going to use a whisk to break up those curds. Okay, I've cut the curds into small squares. Now I'm going to use a whisk to just push it up and down to break the curds. So you slowly break the curds and it's releasing the whey. And afterwards, I will stir it slowly for about 20 minutes. Okay, I'm stirring the curds very slowly and it's releasing all the whey. This is what it looks like at the beginning. And then we're going to add heat to it and the curds are going to be smaller. So I'll go ahead and do this for 20 minutes and then I have to let it rest for 5 minutes. Next, I'm going to remove some of the whey from the pot. So I use a sieve and a cup and I just take the cup, get the whey and dump it. And we'll do this until we get to the top of the curds, which will look like this. You can see the curds. So what we need to do next is we need to put hot water in this pot and we're going to cook the curds for the next half an hour and it will be about 104 degrees. Okay, so I have water that's about 130 degrees. I go ahead and pour a little bit, and then I stir, and then I need to check the temperature. It's important that you keep stirring for the next half an hour so you don't get big clumps of curds. You want small little curds. So I will do this and stir for the next half an hour, and then we'll be ready to pour the curds into our mold. Okay, the curds have been cooking for about a half an hour, and so you can see what they look like. They're smaller and they're supposed to kind of be a little bit bouncy. So that's what the curds are going to look like. Now I'm going to drain the whey and then we will put the curds in the mold. So let me drain the whey. Okay, so I have my mold. I put my cheesecloth in the mold and put clips on it so it would stay in place. Now we're going to put our curds, break them up, and then we're going to put them in the mold, just like this. There's going to be a little bit of whey, but we're going to drain that. Okay. Stop. So all of the curds are in my mold. So you need to kind of pull up the cheesecloth so it doesn't make creases on your cheese wheel. And then you put a follower on top. And then we're going to start adding weight to this cheese so it will consolidate all the curds. So the first part will be putting the mold on my cheese press. And it will press at 24 pounds for about a half an hour. Then after, we'll come and flip the cheese and put more pressure on it. Okay, so our cheese has been under 25 pounds of weight for a half an hour. So now we need to take the cheese out of the mold and flip it. Then we will put more weight on it for the next several hours. So you go ahead and flip it like this. So our cheese is starting to form really nicely. And then after several more hours, then it needs to rest overnight. After, then it needs to be brined in a salt solution and then dried for about 1 or 2 days. Then it needs to be put into a fridge or a wine cooler, and it has to stay at a consistent 50 degrees for 4 weeks. And after 4 weeks, it will stay at room temperature. Then, after a total of 8 weeks, it will finally be cured and ready to eat. So this Jarlsberg cheese has been curing for about 8 weeks. When it goes into room temperature, it starts to expand, and that's why you get little holes in the Jarlsberg cheese. So it's developed a nice natural rind. With this cheese, since it's a little bit harder, we don't need to wax it. This is the final product of the Jarlsberg cheese. It has nice holes in it, and it's time for a taste test. Delicious. Has a good buttery flavor. Really good. So, as you can tell, making cheese is a very long process. Not only does it take hours to milk the cows to get 12 gallons of milk, the preparation time, the waiting time, the stirring time, the curing time, the cleaning up time. It's a big process, but in the end it's worth it. So now you can go ahead and make your own cheese at home. Thanks for watching.